All right, now we're going to look at how to save an image from InDesign for the web. Okay, you might have done a magazine project. Those of you that were in the magazine class, if you were in typography and brand identity, you did a brochure, and you got these multi-page documents. And they, with InDesign, it's made for multi-page documents. You have vector text on layers, and you have like here on my top layer, I've got vector text and some images, and then some gradients, and in the middle I've got some other images, and on the background I've got my background color. So these are complex documents, and so how do you get them to be ready for the internet? Well, I'm gonna choose these two pages. This is pages 8 and 9. It's a spread from a booklet I did to help Steve Rude. He's a comic book artist who is trying to get his character sold to Netflix as an animated series. And so this is called a pitch book, and it tries to get investors to get excited about a possible animated series based on this character. Okay, so I just took Steve's art and did these layouts to try to entice investors, and so that's what this booklet is. So I might want to put this on my web page and say, hey, here's a booklet that I designed. All right, so here's what I do. I go to File, Export, and I'm going to choose the JPEG format first, and I'm going to call it Pitch Book Web, and I'll call it 8 and 9 because those are the pages I'm choosing. And that's just a name. That's not going to automatically give me 8 and 9, but I'm just naming it that. So I'll click Save. And then this window is very important. This is the Export JPEG window, because here's where I actually choose. I could do all pages, and then I get the entire book, and it would be separate files. It'd be gargantuan. Or I could choose a set number of pages. I could just choose one page if I want, just page 8. Or in this case, I'll do 8-9. That's my range, okay? I could choose individual pages, and I'd get 2 files, one for page 8, one for page 9. If I want to combine 8 and 9 together as a spread, I click Spreads. And I've already done this once, so I know I've experimented with sizes. And I know now that a good size, I'm going to use medium quality because I'm doing some condensing here. And the resolution, I'm going to choose 150, and that will give me a reasonable sized file. I've already played around with it a little bit, and I've discovered that 150 resolution, medium quality, will give me a good image. Okay, so I'll export that. And then, then just for comparison, I want to also do it as a PNG and just see what the difference is. PNG Web 2. Okay, and I'm going to give it 8-9 as spreads. Medium quality, I'll do the same, 150, and it's a PNG this time, so I'll export this. And then I'm just going to compare the quality and the sizes. So here's all right, the size of the JPEG file. Here it is. It looks pretty good. Even though it's reduced for the web, you can still even read the text. And a little bit of artifacts. You can see some of the condensing that JPEG format does. And one of the reasons this looks like that is we've just chosen medium quality. So, and you have to, or else it would be just gargantuan. All right, the PNG version, is 5.2 megabytes. So that's just too big. It's a zero lossless format, but it's 5 megabytes is too big of it for a web image. So you can see how it would go on the internet. It would be high quality, but the file size is too big. It would just load too slowly. So in this case, I'm choosing the JPEG version. Now, one thing I did earlier that I don't recommend, at first I did a super high quality JPEG image at 600 pixels per inch, and it was 1.8 megabytes, and then I brought that into Photoshop and tried to optimize it in Photoshop, and then the end result was just not very good. It was small, and then you can't. It's all pixelated. I mean, you're going to get some pixelation, but this is really bad. And the reason is it was a second generation JPEG, and you may remember me talking about that before. A first generation JPEG is pretty good. You can see letters and stuff like here. But a second one, a JPEG of a JPEG, it throws out more information, and the reduction is just not good. So do it directly from InDesign as a JPEG. You play around with the quality, whether it should be medium or low, and the pixels per inch, whether it should be 150 or 72 or 300. You can play around with it and then get a file size you can live with. This is a major file. I would want it kind of displayed large, and so I'm okay with it being 612 kilobytes. That's kind of big. It won't load quickly, but for me it's worth it. I want the quality of the image to be there, and I want it to be big. So you do have to make these decisions and these trade-offs based on how good the image should look and how big it's going to be.